So WWE Night of Champions is in the books, and it's time once again here at WrestleJuice to take a look at your hot takes, cold takes, lukewarm takes, mid takes, great flakes. Anyways, first one up here is from Pratik Shetty, who said, what a great name, who says, Charles Robinson taking that shoulder tackle bump at the age of 60 is wild. Oh boy, Lil Nate at the age of 60, sprinting down all 30 yards, 50 yards, whatever, however long that ramp was. It was forever. It was huge. And then taking that huge bump, that shoulder tackle from John Cena. Shout out to Lil Nate. He's always been my favorite ref. And yeah, I wonder if they kind of realized it was going to be that brutal, because he's old and he's a ref. He really shouldn't be taking bumps like that. But hey, shout out to the guy, because that was pretty awesome. The Genuine Fake says, I'm glad Solo won. His whole group would have been dead if Jacob won. And then Andrew Sharp here says, Solo is low-key one of the best characters going. Hard agree. The dude cracks me up. I think that sort of arrogant version of Solo who can also be, I'm not going to say menacing necessarily, because he's not the most intimidating guy in the world, but I don't think his character really works all that well as like an intimidating presence. That's what he's got. That's why he's got like what, 4 guys behind him. Now he's got JC Mateo, Tangaloa came back, and then Hikuleu showed up. So he's got those 3 guys. And then I don't know where Talatanga is going to end up, but he's got like, it's like 4 dudes now in this new bloodline. And I think it's great for Jacob to now have to chase that United States Championship. I have no doubt that he's going to win it back at SummerSlam. Sometimes you need your baby faces, like, you got to give them something to do. And having Solo win that title, especially after kind of holding it down full time since, I don't know, since Clash of the Castle 2022, when Drew McIntyre lost to Roman Reigns. God damn. That's like coming up on 3 years. The guy has always been around, and he's always been done whatever's asked of him. And I like that I like that he's got a singles title now. I think it's pretty cool. So good for Solo Sikoa. I'm a fan of this. I love Jacob Fatu. He's going to get the title right back. But yeah, let's add some intrigue to it. Jack Wood says, Penta running in for the save, but still doing his slow walk entrance gives major Jeff Hardy dancing when coming to save Matt vibes. I love Penta. I love that he came all the way out to Saudi Arabia just for that. Wait, was he on SmackDown? I forget. In any event, yeah, him doing, you got to do the Penta walk. It doesn't matter if you got to have a sense of urgency. I think he's the one guy who can meander and everybody's cool with it, even if he should be running. Iron Man 99ify says, to all those disappointed that Cross lost, I genuinely don't know what you expected to have happen. The match was booked purely to get Sammy on the Saudi card, and Sammy doesn't lose in Saudi. Sammy is, in fact, the new Mansoor. He doesn't lose in Saudi Arabia. He's probably going to win the Royal Rumble come 2026 because that's in Saudi Arabia. And good for Cross. He got at a premium live event. I think that's awesome for him. And on top of that, very first thing he did, when Sammy clotheslined him out of the ring, took a back bump right on the floor. We counted a bunch of back bumps in that particular match. I think 7 altogether. So I don't know about all that business about, oh, Cross doesn't do back bumps. I thought that was bullshit in the first place. Somebody's got to, half the time when these dirt sheet guys report stuff, it's usually because like people have an agenda backstage. They're like, oh man, Cross is taking my spot. I should be that guy. And then he's like, oh, you know what? Let's feed something ridiculous to one of the dirt sheets. He doesn't like to take back bumps. A little weird, but good for Cross, man. I thought it was great for him, man. I didn't think he wasn't going to win. He was number one. He was never going to win this. And I never really even thought they were going to do a thing where like, Sammy would have to battle being a good guy or a bad guy or something like that. It's like, no, this guy's just annoying and Sammy beat him. That's just the story there. CDTN Player says, stage was pretty dope looking. Yeah, it was pretty big. It's a big old stage. Big giant stage. Diabetic Man says Cena doing nostalgic greatest hits matches are for the best in his retirement run. Yeah, I agree with this. I was not really a fan of the actual wrestling in that Cena Punk match. I thought it was slow, plotting. I'm going to get to that in a little bit because one of y'all had a hot take on this one. But yeah, I think the nostalgia factor, the chemistry, the history is really where I want to go with this. The history between Cena and Punk makes for a great video package. And they overbooked it, I think, because they knew that it was going to be kind of a slow plotting match. both these guys are old. Both of them are older than me, and I'm old as fuck. So, yeah, I feel like overbooking the match made a lot of sense because what we got to up until that point, not terribly impressive, but they're like old, so I guess that's to be expected. But yeah, it was cool seeing them. It's cool seeing them together in the ring, and I'm glad they did this. And yeah, you don't want Cena to end his career with a lot of people being like, man, it's crazy they didn't do this. It's crazy they didn't do that. You know, it's like they could have gone one of two ways. They could have had him fight a bunch of younger people, not a lot of young people in the men's division. You get Braun Breaker, and that's kind of it. Or you have him take on opponents that kind of make sense that he has history with. And I feel like that's the way to go. He'll probably have something with Seth coming up here. Probably have, obviously he's going to have Cody at SummerSlam because Cody's the new king of the ring. Do we have any hot takes on that? Oh, let me check here. Disco Ball 2010 says there's fun predictable and bad predictable. Cody winning king of the ring is bad predictable. Let's hope they can make SummerSlam interesting, but I'm not betting on it. Look, the SummerSlam match between Cody and Cena has to be better than the WrestleMania match. Like, it has to be. That being said, is this bad predictable? I don't know. I feel like Cody was kind of a little bit healing it up in this match. Him kicking out at 2 RKOs, a little ridiculous. It's a little bit much, especially like, and then there was the counter of the RKO directly into the crossroads, which I thought was kind of funny. But you know, him working over Randy's bad back, a little bit on the healer side. His promo at the end was kind of condescending. I kind of appreciate that we're getting a little bit of bad guy Cody Rhodes. It's not over the top and it's barely even there, but it's kind of fun to see that. Look, you got to motivate the match at SummerSlam. And yes, obviously you could have done it any number of ways. You didn't need to do it through King of the Ring. But the other option would have been Jey Uso. I guess maybe Sami Zayn for another shot at Gunther at SummerSlam, but I feel like they're putting that off until after the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, I think that Cody was fine here. Like, was it the most interesting choice? No, of course not. But again, you got to remember in Saudi Arabia, they don't take any risks there. They don't. They sort of give you like some, some easily digestible WWE greatest hits. That's why it was Cody and Randy, because they want to see Randy Orton on the card, obviously. But, was it like, oh my God, this is great? Look, nothing about WWE right now is, oh my God, this is crazy. That's kind of a problem, but it's a good problem to have because back before Triple H took over, it was like, none of this makes any sense. So it's not like it was better. It was far, far worse. And now it's been elevated to a certain point where it's like, hey, you know what? We're getting decent stuff right now. So we'd like you to start aiming a little higher. And I feel like that might be kind of the underlying issue with this is like, Cody won. It's kind of predictable. Maybe aim a little higher to be a bit more unpredictable or a little bit more intriguing, maybe. So I get that. I think that's sort of a WWE problem, though. Like it's a big picture Triple H problem. Diego Esma here says, Jade is more presentation than wrestling ability. Patrick Cheeseman says, everyone needs to stop jumping down Jade's throat. She'll never be an all-time in-ring talent, but she's doing great work and shouldn't be unfairly criticized like she is. Thank you, Patrick Cheeseman, for saying what I was thinking. Because, look, a lot of the comments in this thread were like really kind of disrespectful towards the human being Jade Cargill. I understand if you want to drop a hot take, if you want to be, but I don't know, being outright rude about a particular wrestler it's not going to get you in the hot takes. It's just going to get you banned from leaving comments in the future. So let's try to remember that going forward because there's way too much hatred for Jade Cargill. I actually went back and I watched this match again. Look, is it a barn burner? No. I understand that I think a lot of people's problems is Asuka didn't win. Throughout Asuka's entire run, going back 10 years in NXT until the present day, the main problem people have with Asuka is she doesn't win enough, even though she has won literally everything there is to win. Look, I love Asuka. She is one of my all-time favorites. But when I step back and realize, okay, this is what WWE is trying to do right now, I think it was a bad decision to put her in there with Jade because Asuka's fresh coming off of her injury. And I think a lot of people just wanted to see her win anything and everything because she's Asuka and everybody missed Asuka. Everybody loves her. universally, they love her, except if you're Bill Goldberg, but who cares about that guy? But everybody loves Asuka. And so putting Jade in there with Asuka, I get the idea. Asuka's a veteran. Jade needs a veteran in there to put on a good match. I get that. And I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a dude who's about to main event Saturday night's main event in about 2 weeks, who's probably never really had any business being in the ring, but he's all presentation. Talking about, obviously, Goldberg. And he's about to get this big celebrated send-off, and he's 58 years old, and he's never put on a good match in his whole fucking life. But he's widely celebrated. He's got plenty of critics, myself included, but much of wrestling is presentation. And that's why I appreciate Diego's take here, because yes, she is very much a product of presentation, which is like, I don't know, a lot of pro wrestling. So I went back and I watched the match. Is it great? No. Is it serviceable? Yes. I saw one asinine tweet on social media where somebody said, look, how do you botch a pin when you're like doing your finishing move at Queen of the Ring? And I watched the finish, like the actual pin, several times over. There's no botch about it. She pins Asuka. There's 3. And she starts to roll back on the 3rd one. But Asuka's shoulders are down the entire time. People simply want to jump on Jade Cargill because she looks like $1 million. She's not the best person in the ring in terms of like in-ring talent, and WWE's pushing her. I get it. People hate. They like to hate on people being pushed. But in this case, it's like, dude, ease up a little bit. It's not the end of the world that Asuka didn't win yet another thing. And I'm Asuka #1 fan. I think Asuka's terrific. I'm sure she'll get a title shot, probably against Io, probably at Evolution would be my guess. And then Rhea would get the winner of that, who's going to be probably Io Sky. But Asuka, I don't think is anywhere close to being done with her run. She'll probably, Triple H loves Asuka, so she'll probably end up getting, I don't know, more titles, and then everybody will be happy. And then as soon as she loses, they'll be pissed off again. But yeah, I do think that the hatred on Jade Cargill, it goes a little too far, and it's disappointing to me because I really like Jade Cargill. I think she's great. All right, getting back to the main event. Avery Wash says, criticizing a match between 2 almost 50-year-old wrestlers for being a step slow is weird to me. What'd you expect them to turn the clock back 15 years? Boy, that'd be cool if you could. Be 30 again. That'd be nice. You know what's wild is that I actually looked up the math on this because I saw this and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, Undertaker versus HBK at WrestleMania 25. They were like the same age as Cena and CM Punk. No, they were younger by several years. They were both around 44, 45 years old. And CM Punk, I think, is 46. And Cena's like 49, I think, or 48 or something like that. That's wild. That is fucked up if you think about it. But then Undertaker and Triple H end of an era, which is one of my favorite matches, that was a little bit more in line with the ages of CM Punk and John Cena. So I think when it comes to like storytelling in a match, I think you can tell a really, really good story and not be the most, like, you know, physical specimen in the ring in terms of like being athletic and stuff. So I don't know, man. Obviously Cena's lost a step. CM Punk ain't as young as he used to be. I don't expect him to turn the clock back 15 years, but I feel like there's been plenty of wrestlers advanced in age that have been able to put on compelling matches at an advanced age. So do I expect him to turn the clock back? No. But yeah, I don't think it's too much to expect, like a compelling match at less than 50 years old. Huntsworth Doom says, Talatanga is a really funny name. It's like if JC Mateo was called Wider Sokoa, they could have called him Stretch Sokoa. That'd have been cool too. Oh man, I don't know. It was funny. I'm fine with Talatanga. I get it. He's tall. I don't know if that was like, is that the reason? Like, is there some significance to the term Tala in Tongan or whatever the, you know, the etymology is, the origin of that name is. I don't know. I didn't look it up. Is it simply because he's tall? That'd be hilarious. Go Birds XTL says WWE doing more title changes has been a positive development in 2025. Hard agree on this one. Yeah, I like Solo getting the title, Julia getting the title. Yeah, and then like the world title's been passed around a little bit. I'm cool with that. I like that. I think that's, adds a little bit. The one thing I don't think they're going to do, though, is do that with the Undisputed Championship. I think it's going right back over to Cody Rhodes, and there it will stay. I'd be kind of surprised. I mean, Seth seems like he wants to cash in on that, but maybe he'll, he keeps on threatening to cash in on that title, so it seems like that's where his sights are. So I don't know. Maybe Seth will cash in at SummerSlam. Oto517 says Asuka would have been golden with a Queen of the Ring gimmick. She would have hammed it up. Asuka is one of the funniest wrestlers on the roster. So yes, this could have been great. However, I feel like we're only a month away from SummerSlam. Anybody who would have won King and Queen of the Ring, their gimmick would have lasted about a month. I don't think that they're going to take it much further than the actual title shot they win there at SummerSlam. Femtrapta says Rhea Ripley did not need that win. Au contraire, she's on the road to winning that world title back. So yeah, you kind of have her win this. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Raquel Rodriguez should have won this. And to an extent, I kind of agree because she's got that story right now with Roxanne Perez, and they totally just had Rhea humiliate them both. I think that they could have done that a little bit different, maybe. Maybe Roxanne comes out and tries to help, but kind of ends up being the reason why Raquel loses, maybe. And then they got to figure out how to get on the same page. Because, yeah, they just booked Rhea Ripley ridiculously strong. But then they really like Rhea, and so do I. Finally, Jack says, can we stop forcing politics into wrestling now? Yeah, can we do that now? I don't know what this means exactly. Like, in what way? There's a lot going on in the world right now, so it's kind of, maybe, narrow it down, buddy. Let me know what you mean in the comments below, Jack. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.